Hi everyone, I'm Pastor Garrett, and we have this weekend starting a sermon series at CLC, and it's titled Post-Easter Power. I think you can see it right here behind me. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce it to you as we prepare for worship together this weekend. I was asked recently why we're focusing on the Holy Spirit at this time, and there are two reasons, and I wanted to share those with you. I think they'll kind of make sense of the sermon series as a whole. So we're focusing on the Holy Spirit, number one, because we're leading up to Pentecost. That's when we commemorate when the Holy Spirit was poured out on the church, or when at least that began to be poured out on the church. And at that time, the apostles in particular, these original followers of Christ, went from being very cowardly to being very courageous. And so we're calling it post-Easter power because the Spirit gave them a certain power. And certainly that was rooted in the fact that they had seen Jesus risen from the dead. But at the same time, it was really the Spirit who worked that faith in them and gave them a power that they didn't have on their own. And so as we prepare for Pentecost, we want to look at that and look at the power that the Holy Spirit gives us. So the church season is one reason. The other reason is really the season of our church here at CLC, with Pastor Joe retiring and then transitioning to a new pastor. And then at the same time, there's a lot of transition just in the world as a whole. And I think at any point of transition, there's it's really easy to be weakened by transition, especially with the departure of Pastor Joe, and then we're not meeting together, and there is that chance for a weakening in the church. But what I'm really hoping for is that when we come back together, we come back stronger, simply because we have been in tune with the Holy Spirit and focused on His work within us and through us. And so I do hope that this is a blessing to you and to your family as we focus on the work of the Holy Spirit. I'm going to share something that was shared with me. This was in my previous call out in Pittsburgh. The senior pastor there had left. He had been there for 22 years. And I was at a point where I was very afraid going into that call. And I think there was just so much uncertainty, which is not unlike the situation that we face now. And I had a friend of mine who was a mentor to me in the ministry. He was nearing the end of his ministry. And he said to me, and the words always stuck with me, the senior pastor that I was working with, his name was Eric. He was incredibly powerful as a pastor. And my mentor friend, he said to me, the same Spirit that was in Eric is also in you. And so I want to apply that to us now. And I want to say that the same Spirit that was in Pastor Joe is also in you and is also in me. And it's He who gives us the power to do this ministry together. So like I said, I want us to come back as a church when we gather back together, to come back stronger, with stronger families, stronger marriages, and most of all, a stronger faith. And so we'll be focusing on the Holy Spirit and His work to make that happen. We hope it's a blessing to you, and we hope to see you this Sunday.